to seeing the household names playing and just casually getting through to the latter rounds. But as Steve says, that's beginning to change now. These players, they're not up here to make the numbers. They don't just turn up and hope to go home after a decent performance. They're coming to try to win the tournament. Don't make any mistake about that.
Absolutely. Right then, it's Judd Trump 3, Joe Perry 1 in our match here on BBC Two. But as I say, we're coming off BBC Two and heading to the red button at 2:45 for the varsity match. Let's hand you back to Dennis and Alan.
Thank you, Jason. Joe gets this first frame after the mid-session interval underway, and very fast flowing action in the first half of the match. Average frame time, 12 minutes. Just following on from what the boys were saying, Al, great time to be a professional snooker player. There's so many chances, and if you can come through, as the boys were talking there, there's great rewards to be had.
Yes, there sure are. Upwards of 20 events in the calendar these days, and a lot of them sort of flow into the next event. This one finishes on Sunday evening, obviously, then we're up to Scotland. It starts on Monday morning. Oh, another thunderous long red.
Just come up a little bit short, but an absolute cracker again from Judd Trump.
Judd Trump, 1.
Now he's cleverly blocked the route off the left side of the table into the side of the reds, simply because he'd have to be careful he didn't go the right side. And in the frame before the mid-session interval, just one little slip up from Joe when coming off a side cushion to land into the bunch. He came up short, and that was the only shot he had. He's looking to see if he can come twice across the table to get into the side of the reds. Well judged.
Yes, on that point of tournament starting straight after this tournament finishes, it's actually a nice problem for players to have. All right, you don't want to be jumping on a plane at a minute's notice and going somewhere and having to play a match straight away, but it's a nice problem to have. We'd all you'd love to be in a final on the Sunday evening and have to play on the Monday. But they have sorted that out, actually, the governing body. No longer will players play on the following day for a final.
Just switching hands there to play this safety shot. He's very good with his opposite hand, as Judd. Seems to be the thing in the modern game. Lots of players can switch hands. Going back, there was only a few of us, Fred Davis, myself, that used to swap hands. I did it purely because I never liked using the rest.
Yeah, here's another. Clean as a whistle.
Judd Trump, 1.
better length with a safety shot there. Okay, there's a red that could be potted into the right corner, but I don't know where the cue ball would finish up. It's going to cannon into reds. Well, he somehow found a gap as well there. And somehow he's managed to finish up with the white on the ball cushion. I was having a chat with Joe's father in the players' lounge. Delightful man. You can tell where Joe got his nickname from, Gentleman Joe Perry. And we're having a little chat. He said, yeah, he could have been 2 each, couldn't he? Which he probably could have been. But Judd was superb, so no complaints.
You just get a sense here again that Joe Perry, he's terrified to leave Judd a look at any sort of long red. Had a good think about it, just on a minute. Yeah, he couldn't avoid leaving him some sort of shot to nothing. That's all he could do, Joe Perry. Brown helps this shot in a way, and a little glance at it there, so he is playing for Brown.
Do you think he's got the pace of the table? Quite tight on the cushion. Let's open things up. That really has. Have a look at the reds and a terrific cue ball. So whoever makes the first mistake here could be sitting in his seat for a while. Judd wasn't in the players' lounge, wasn't in the dressing room. He was with his brother Jack, and I've noticed that with each match, just in the corridor, they were just sitting chatting to each other. His brother travels all over the world with him nowadays, and he's very comfortable with it, keeps him relaxed. Nice to have someone like that in your corner. We're going to see a Judd Trump special here. You know, it's not a bad result. I think Joe would have been thinking, well, if he has a go at this and misses it, I'm going to have a good chance.
Foul, a miss. Joe Perry 4.
Now then, Joe Perry. Ah, good shot.
1.
Cued that lovely.
I'm just thinking there, Alan, it was Joe who opened the whole table up here, so he's thinking very positively. It's a dangerous thing to do against a Judd Trump, but he's the one that played the good safety. He's the one that's going to reap the benefits from that shot where he opened the game right up.
7. $15. $16. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Just a little foreign object on the cue ball there. It just gives Joe an extra 10 or 15 seconds to just get set in his mind which way he wants to, the order he wants to take these reds. Goes without saying, this is the kind of chance you dream about getting. I think he's doing the right thing. He's just taking his time about it. Sometimes you can get a little blasé about these kind of chances. You think,
24.
well, they're all in the open. I should win the frame at this visit. You'll only do that if you concentrate properly.
$31.
Just a little bit of distraction from the other table. They're in between frames. But this arena, I've said a few times, when it gets down to the 2 tables, it's brilliant. The 4 tables
39.
is fine, but the crowd are all at one side. They can watch all the tables. But this is the old traditional, you know, where the people are right around the table. Players
40.
get used to it. Like that last shot, the movement was in his line of sight, but didn't bother him. He did precious little wrong
47
in the opening session, even though he was 3-1 behind. And he's proving that here because he's
48.
taking these very well indeed. Not that many more pots away from securing this 5th frame. It's lovely to watch the way he break bills, Joe. Terrific cueist.
55. $56.
Yeah, I was talking to Joe in the practice room actually the other day. We were talking about how much he's been practicing these days. He obviously works hard at his game, but
63.
you know, well into his 40s now, Joe Perry, so he's almost all the player he's ever going to be. So he just does enough. And no, that's a good shot.
64.
They do say that enough is as good as a piece, and see, he doesn't put crazy hours in these days, Joe Perry. Just enough. Knows everything about the game that you would want to know. He's taking these
71.
lovely, well past the point now of closing to just 1 behind again.
So, 72.
His father reminded me that I played Joe before he turned
78.
professional in an exhibition in Wisbech. And that was
79.
an awful long time ago, as Joe turned professional in 1992.
'86.
Yeah, well
87.
played. That's given him a chance now to compile a century break. He's made 280 in his career, 15 this season so far.
94.
And he's already made 5 in
95.
this year's UK Championship. Well played, Joe Perry. Magnificent century break.
100.
Doesn't matter about the yellow.
Joe Perry. 100.
What a start after the mid-session interval. Judd give him one chance and he made that beautiful century break, and now he's just one frame behind. It's 3-2.